Boy, if I lived in Germany, I'd be rich today. What if you're better?
Yeah. And we are back with my mom from Canada. Unfortunately, she's been here for 3 months and now her trip is coming to an end. And there have been on this trip a lot of good, also a lot of bad. And we're gonna talk in 2 different videos about some of the things that my mom would love to bring home to Canada. And I say that because I don't think we're ever gonna convince her to come move to Germany. So she wants to bring this stuff to Canada, but doesn't wanna live with us here. But let's talk about some of the things that she loves that she really wishes they had in Canada.
Well, my one thing is definitely in the grocery stores, those machines that suck up the bottles and the cans, because I was watching people picking them up and then taking them in the grocery stores and using them for groceries. It eliminates the litter, and I wish we could do that in Canada. I did a garbage pickup one weekend for Earth Day with a bunch of people, and I said, boy, if I lived in Germany, I'd be rich today, because people just toss their bottles and cans away without a second thought, and it could be money for somebody to eat.
That's true. In Canada, actually, my brother and I, our hobby when we were little was going into the forest and collecting all the beer bottles. I don't even remember how much a beer bottle is with deposit. 10 cents. I think,
10 cents.
I think 10 cents. It's actually a little less here for the beer bottles. Yeah, it was 10 cents a beer bottle. But funny enough, she was like, why are people not collecting the beer bottles at Carnival? Because Carnival just passed here in Düsseldorf. And they were smashing the bottles, the garbage men, to suck them all up. And it's because there's so many plastic bottles and cans around that are 25-cent deposit that people are going around picking those up, and it's a lot easier to carry for hours on end when you're collecting bottles. So it's a great job for them to have. They're cleaning up the city, like you mentioned. I love the system too. I think the biggest topic we've been discussing this time on this trip is my mom's love for Aldi, or I guess similar would be Lidl as well. But Aldi is actually worldwide. Like there's Aldi in America already.
I want it in Canada.
So we've been talking about this like monopoly of grocery stores in Canada. Like it's pretty much owned by the same company, like multiple different grocery stores, which means they don't have to price compete. They're just bumping their prices up and up and up and up and up. I like no frills in Canada because it's cheap, but even that's getting more expensive.
Where here you can go, the prices are good, the sales are great. I go through just because I have fun, checking all the prices and seeing what's on sale and bringing all this chocolate and candy home for my friends.
My first job in Canada though was a facer, like at a grocery store. And in Germany, you probably don't even know what that means because it's not very typical here, but a facer would be someone who would bring the product to the front of the shelf so that it looks nice and beautiful. And this is very important in Canada. So I wonder how Canadians would react to Aldi, because you're paying this cheap price because there's no staff there to like support you. You know, there's one on cash and there's one like throwing the stock in.
I did see a young lady in the Aldi, and she was actually filling up and getting rid of the old boxes and stuff. And she was filling.
But they put it with the box like on the shelf. I think Canadians would be fine with it if they're going to save a significant amount of money.
And the nice thing about Aldi too is you can go do your grocery shopping, but they have that little section where you have maybe some clothes or some home tools. And I like getting the flyer and bringing it. It was here, and bringing it home to check out what's on sale next week.
We love the flyers. What else do you love about Germany?
So I buy these little bags here and I roll them up and put them in my bag. And when I was back in Canada, they're going, oh, that's a perfect little grocery bag. Because we've just kind of caught on to this bringing your own bags to the grocery store, which again, I learned it first here. So I buy these little cloth bags and they say Düsseldorf on them and Germany on them. And I use them in Canada, and they always get little comments like, look at that, they roll up so small, what a great idea. And
so they don't sell canvas bags in Canada?
Mostly the big grocery bags, like Aldi has them and stuff like that. I'm sure you could get some places. I just carry them around with me.
Easy to carry. I like them. It's just such a norm for us here that I found it interesting that she's constantly mentioning her canvas bags and how nice they are.
I do love being able to just, right here, right across the street, going out of the house, getting a couple of fresh buns or cinnamon, what do you call them?
Französische something or other.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the sweet stuff. That's really good, the sweet stuff.
They're good at Aldi.
And yeah, they are good at Aldi too. And just coming home with fresh buns to make fresh sandwiches every morning. I like just hopping out the door, walking up and down the street. Here in Dusseldorf, we have horses and the castle's not far away. And it's just a very nice way to start your day and go for a little walk down to the Rhine.
It's a lot easier, I think, here to explore because everything's so much closer and you
Yeah.
can travel by transit, but you can also travel by foot. And in Canada, it's like anywhere you want to go, you're getting in the car.
Yes, and like you said, with your bus pass, you can travel all over Germany, which is absolutely amazing and would cost you a arm and leg in Canada to do that.
Also, we've been having a very long debate in this household over the last weeks about daycare spots, which I won't go into too much detail about yet. Maybe, hopefully, in the future. However, we've been looking at different opportunities. We've been talking a lot about options here, and then my mom has just fallen in love with the idea of the Waldkita.
We do have a few of them in Canada. It's wonderful. I was a little surprised when I heard that some of these daycares don't give the children an opportunity to play outside for a certain amount of time every day. I do believe it is some kind of a rule in Canada that they do have to have so much outdoor time in a day, which is so important to them.
I think there's rules here too.
Yeah.
People just don't adhere to them, maybe.
Okay. The kids need that. And the nature schools, oh my God, what a wonderful idea. It's not for everyone, that's for sure. But there are kids that would just thrive on it. And I love the idea of nature schools. We have one or two in Canada, but they're very far away. So you'd have to live there to put them. There's one out in Niagara, near Niagara Falls, I think. And you'd have to move towards where they are.
And we complain here because they're few and far between as well, but not like in Canada. Like in Canada, you'd have to move. Here, you have to drive to the other end of the city, for example, at least in Düsseldorf. So not everywhere in Germany has them, but we have quite a number, I'd say, in Düsseldorf and surrounding areas, mostly closer to the nature. But those would be an amazing option for my daughter if we had the opportunity. Unfortunately, we just can't find a spot anywhere, which is...
And that's very sad. The shortage is very sad here.
Yeah, it just depends. So there are definitely negatives,
Yes.
which we will go into. We just posted a video recently about the cost of living in Germany and Canada, though, which was also a positive for my mom. However, there were also quite a few negatives on this trip, in addition to the fact that we have been very, very sick for the last few months. I just haven't been able to convince her to move to Germany.
We'll keep working on it.
Fingers crossed. Drück die Daumen. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Und wie immer, bis später.